Now we're going to cross over to the Western Cape to my colleague Vanessa Poonah. Vanessa, we know obviously it's a national strike, but what are some of the key issues that Western Cape workers are faced with and that they're having a gripe with?
Yes, good afternoon to you. And the march has just started, or rather ended here at the Parliament after it started off at the City of Cape Town, the Civic Centre, as well as a short stop at the Provincial Legislature. The big issues, as the leadership of COSATU have told us in the Western Cape, as with much of the country, is the issue of job losses. Just in the Western Cape alone, a short while ago, the Premier, Alan Winde, agreed with the COSATU members gathered outside the Provincial Legislature, saying that in this province alone, since the start of the lockdown, 321,000 people had lost their jobs. Of course, COSATU leadership also mentioning the issue of corruption, specifically when it comes to the PPE tenders and so on. And the Premier once again agreed with those that had gathered outside, saying that he agrees that those that have been found guilty of corruption must be in jail. Now, at this point in time, we know that gender-based violence is also one of the big issues that's happened here in the Western Cape, and also murders, one of the highest murder rates here in the province itself. Even a couple of weeks ago, that of one of the big, or the top anti-gang unit members, Lieutenant Colonel Shalkanier, to the extent of the high crime rate here in the Western Cape. And at the moment, I can tell you that COSATU's leadership is addressing the crowds that have gathered here outside to hand over the final memorandum, saying also that within 14 days they do want feedback, failing which, after that 14-day period, that won't just be a few hundred people coming out to the streets, but indeed thousands, as they insist that the working conditions of the poor and vulnerable, the working conditions of the working class need to be improved. This, of course, includes issues around public transport being a big problem, specifically here in the Western Cape, where over the years we've seen the train service, for example, falling into disrepair. And also what the COSATU leadership here in the province have been telling us is that they want the taxi industry to be regulated, and then once it's regulated, also to be subsidized by government, such as is the case with Golden Arrow bus services. So at the moment in time, quite a number of COSATU members, pop crew members, joining me right now. Ma'am, would you, in terms of your presence here today as a pop crew member, tell us why you've come out to support this action?
I support this action because I say no to corruption. There are poor people in this country that they need funds to be taken care of. People are poor, they are hungry outside, there are orphans in this country, there are people who are living with chronic diseases that they need these funds. So those who are involved in corruption, they must be jailed.
Thank you so much. Of course, there again, the issue of corruption coming through strongly here outside Parliament, as those that have gathered say they are here to support that call, and not just here in the province but countrywide as well.
So in terms of, obviously in the middle of a pandemic, what are you seeing in terms of people observing the safety protocols? Are there more than 500 people where you are? Is there social distance? I can't see it very well.
I'm a bit hesitant to say that there are more than 500 people, but there are definitely more than 300 people that we've counted since the start of this march here this morning. Very difficult to answer your question with regards to social distancing, because it's very difficult to maintain the 1.5 meters or 2 meter social distancing when there are large crowds of people, as we can see. By and large, I have seen quite a number of the protesters, COSATU members, pop crew members, their affiliates, wearing their face masks. And I suppose that's as much as they can do under these circumstances with regards to maintaining the protocols, the COVID-19 protocols. But no, I can't really say that there are social distancing measures in place. We, of course, as the media, trying our best to capture what's taking place, and also to do so in the safest way possible.
Vanessa, thank you so much for your report.